welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Wednesday. I am your host, and with me tonight is still don't got anything for you, dude. You got to come up with a name, right? I got no name. Victory Vance, right?
Sure.
That's what we said last time.
All right.
I don't know. We got to come up with something better than that. Rad Robert or something, right? How we doing tonight, Vance?
Good. Just trying to get caught up on some of the crypto fanatics info out there, you know?
It's been since our last show, we had, we saw it going up a little bit, and then it's kind of come down a little bit.
We had a big up and down.
Yeah, we sure did. Let's see. It's been an interesting week. I've been really busy and stuff with work, so I haven't paid a lot of attention because a lot of it's kind of just been fairly steady and sticking in the same area, but it has definitely been an up and down week. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
All right. We're
shared. We're shared. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. All right. Let me just, let's pull up the top 100 and see what's going on. God, they kind of changed the look of the page, and so I keep trying to find out where do I click on to get all the. There we go. Okay. So last week we were at 437 billion market cap, and we kind of went up. We went up to we were almost 500 billion, weren't we, Vance?
We were a little over 470 billion.
Okay, I thought we didn't get up a little higher than that, huh? Okay.
I was hoping to hit 500. That was kind of the next goal for me, the next threshold we needed to pass. Yeah. I was trying to get past 450. That's where we were really hitting last week. You know, we kept talking about trying to pass that 450 billion mark. We did. We hit 470 billion. And I was like, well, hopefully we passed that 500 mark, the 500 billion mark, but just didn't quite hit it. We got in the mid 470s, and then it just tapered off after the weekend. So it just came down. We've been sitting at this 430 now for the last couple of days.
Yeah, it looks like right now we're at 435 right now. So today is the 9th. Bitcoin sitting at 93.51, which is almost $100, exactly $100 more than it was last week. Yeah. So, and it kind of went down a little bit less than that. I think it got down to 91 or 9,200 or something, but it was almost at the $10,000 range. It was almost going to hit it.
It was close.
In fact, didn't you send me a message that said it looked like we're going to hit it tonight? But
I thought we were. We never did, but I thought we were.
Instead, it went in the opposite direction and came down a little bit. So
yeah, we actually got down. Yeah, we actually, I think we dropped a little below 430. We're up now almost 436 now.
Yeah. So it's pretty steady. I mean, it's a little bit of, people putting money in, people taking money out. It's just kind of, but it's fairly steady right now. I expect there to be another jump here coming soon, I would think. So Bitcoin dominance is at 36.5%, which is up 1% from last week. So kind of going in the wrong direction, but that's what happens when Bitcoin price goes down. Then the market goes down, Bitcoin dominance goes up. So
people pulling that money out. Yeah, people pulling money out. So
found close to $800. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say started using some of the tools on CoinMarketCap this week, which I thought was pretty interesting. You can actually go back and take a daily snapshots from a year ago, actually from the last 5 years,
right? Which
is pretty interesting. So went and did some of that stuff. So just to kind of see where we're at and everything. But yeah, I thought it was quite interesting from the market cap of last year at this time to the market cap where we are now.
What was it last year this time approximately?
46 billion.
46 billion, huh?
Yep.
So we're about 400 billion more than that.
Yeah.
Wow. In 1 year's time.
Yeah. And Bitcoin was at 1,500.
1,500.
1579. Ethereum was at $96. So if you look at it now, we're at 93.51 on Bitcoin, and Ethereum is 759.
Yeah,
$760. So,
and people,
everybody
people
keeps
don't think
thinking
this
we're
market,
down. This is 1 year ago,
Yeah.
and everybody thinks we're down. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, if you've been in for a year, you've done all right. If you've got in and just bought coins and then you've done okay. Yeah, definitely. So
yeah,
that's people think this is Bitcoin is dead and cryptocurrency is dead. It hasn't even started yet. Hasn't even hardly touched anything yet at this point, in my opinion. I mean, I see it hitting. It's going to be in the trillions before we know it.
Yeah,
it's going to be 1 trillion. Then it's going to jump to 2 trillion. It's going to be that kind of crazy money coming in.
Yeah, and just so you think, like, people talk about, there's certain coins that don't move. Like Sidecoin hasn't moved in a long time. As people talk about SC and ADA and a few things.
Right.
I mean, if you go back and look at Sidecoin last year, SC, Sidecoin wasn't even a penny yet. They were 0.2 of a cent. Can you believe that? 0.2 of a cent 1 year ago, and then today, where are they? Sidecoin's 2.5 cents.
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's. I just love going back and looking at this stuff. I mean, it really tells you that people don't really understand where we're at, how new this market really is. This whole game really is.
Think of how many of those you could have bought for, that 0.2 of a cent and what you'd be at. I bought it. It was pretty cheap when I bought it. I have about 25,000 of them, I think. Yeah. And it was pretty cheap when I bought it. And it still isn't up that much, but you never know. Sidecoin might jump up to $1 one day. So it's just a matter of holding on at this point, right?
Yeah. See, in Verge, this is the killer, by the way. If you've invested in Verge from 1 year ago till today, you've made the ultimate killing. I mean, the ultimate killing. Okay. Verge 1 year ago was 8 100,000ths of a cent.
So how many zeros we got?
4 zeros. So 0.000085 0.000085 cents is what Verge was a year ago. Okay. And what's Verge today? 7.5 cents.
And it got up to 20 something cents. I mean, I did buy Verge at a half a cent, which was a pretty good buy. But yes, 1 year ago,
can you believe that? That's one that really killed me. So what is it? That's 100,000th of a cent, right? Or no, that's 1,000th of a cent. That's 1,000. It's 8,000ths of a cent is what that comes down to.
Jeez. Yeah, you could have done good on Verge at that point. But what's going to happen to Verge? I mean, what's going to happen to privacy coins, in your opinion? I mean, you keep talking about these
SEC sure doesn't like them.
No, they don't.
SEC sure does not like privacy coins, but
it's kind of a hindrance on them at this point, I think. And part of the reason Electroneum might be going away from the privacy a little bit is because of how hard it's been to get listed on some of these bigger things.
Actually, Electroneum has with their fork, they're kind of going away from the Monero blockchain, which means they're not going privacy anymore. They're moving away.
They're going to have some privacy. They're going to have some privacy features, but not the hard, crazy privacy features like Monero does.
Keeping the positive ones, but excuse me, they're trying to go for transaction speed
right
now. Because they know that they're going to have a lot of that's the thing. That's why they have the patent. That's why they're doing a lot of things that they are getting in with the business, because they want lots and lots of users and lots of transactions. And to tell you the truth, that's how they're going to make money. That's how coins make money, is the transaction fees.
Right.
So they're treating this as a business. They want to get it in front of as many people as possible, mass adoption. And there's a few other coins out there that are really pushing for mass adoptions now. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but mass adoption, low transaction fees. Why? Because they want people using it. They'll take a little bit of a commission off every one of those, but that's fine. You know, I mean, that was 0.01, was it 0.01 electronium is what they were taking. Now they moved it up until the price jumps, and then they'll move it back. But that's how they make revenue. That's how electronium is going to make money in the future. Is that, and I think that's how they're funding. Tell you the truth, I think that's how they're funding a lot of their mobile mining too, as those little transactions as well. So I think that'll come into play later too.
And if you've ever had anything to do with merchant services at all or anything, there's, that's how you make money in merchant services. Being a provider and stuff is the little transaction fees off every single transaction. So there's definitely good money in it. So Electronium is poised to do very well, as far as I can see.
Yeah, I didn't want to bounce around that much. I was kind of going back on the historics of just where coins were at a year ago. Just in this market, and even though we're in this dip, it's just amazing how much money has been put into the market in a year's time. Even though we're half of where we were last fall, the money in the market, we're half of what we're at last fall. But it just goes to show how much money actually came in last year, and I don't think we've seen anything yet. I mean, especially this year, I don't think we've seen anything yet. End of this year, I don't know. I expect to be really surprised by the end of this year. But just going back to Verge, when I was trying to do the screenshots here and everything, Verge was 100 listed on the coin market cap. They were 182. They were listed at 182 last year. Okay, at this time, and now Verge is what? We are number 20. Verge is 28, 25,
28.
They're top 25. So that tells you how quickly things can move, especially when you have a team behind them. And Verge had a hard time with the team that they've got. They haven't been able to make a lot of headway. That's why they got in with TokenPay. And because TokenPay is one, they're trying to move. They're on the same route as Els. That they want mass adoption, as quickly as possible. And they've already met half the, half their check marks for this year that they said that they're doing it, for a new release, for new ICO. If people don't know, they officially penned their deal today. They own 9.9% of a bank in Germany now, and then they're going through the regulation
with the option to own another 80% or so, right?
No, 80. Well, they own 9.9%, and they can own up to 80% if they get the regulatory stuff done, which they said they're going to do. So they are going to go through that. But at the same time, with them doing this, there's another bank in Zurich that just contacted them and said, we want to do the same thing. So they now have banks literally lined up waiting for them to come on board, because banks see the future. They see the writing on the wall. They want in. So it's kind of interesting that the bank that they bought into, that they own 10% of right now, is a mortgage bank. So they do mortgage finance. So how cool is that now, that someone actually is going to be able to have credit cards, debit cards, bank accounts, things like that with crypto and buy a home? They'll be able to get financed and buy a home with crypto.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's a first, and that's really big. I mean, there's other coins out there that are doing lines of credit, which is why I really liked the OLXA coin, because that's what they have. They actually have a line of credit based off your coin, off your currency, your cryptocurrency, so that you can go buy a car, buy a house, whatever. But this is a whole other step. I mean, this is legitimately bringing crypto into the world where everyday Joe and Blow can use it now.
Well, and what is one of the problems of advances in financing and mortgage and stuff? What's one of the problems with homeowner or prospective buyers when they're buying a home and they're trying to get their financing and they've got to have a down payment? What's the situation with the down payment?
Well,
money needs to be seasoned, right?
Right. It's got to be seasoned. So basically you have to show 2 bank statements, and this is the mortgage world. You have to have 2 bank statements, 2 months. Yeah. 2 months. Your most recent 2 months bank statements have to show that the money's in there, and it can't have just been deposited, and there can't be huge, cash deposits. It can't be mattress money The
Right.
money you just kept in a bank account, or not in a bank account, but in a safe or under your mattress, basically being deposited in there. All sources of funds have to be traced. Okay. And so that's what makes this really interesting, because now
Your crypto
I still want to know how, because I want to set up an account. I really do. I want to set up an account with TokenPay. Even though it wasn't open, the ICO wasn't open here in the US, you can still get on and buy it now since it's on exchanges. That's not going to stop you. You just didn't get in on the ICO price. But
it's on one exchange too, by the way.
It's on one. Right. It's on one exchange. And you bought some, right? You got on the exchange and bought some, Brian?
No, I haven't bought any. I bought initially, and then it got returned to me. I only bought like $100 worth or something, and it got returned to me because they took away because of the United States citizenship. So
right. So this TokenPay is truly an investment coin. I mean, there's no ands or buts about it. This one's truly an investment coin. It's a staking coin, proof of stake. So as long as you hold it, they will give you a revenue basically off of holding that coin and keep giving you more TokenPay. How long that's going to last, I don't know. But it's to get people on board. It's to help them continually have interest to buy into these more banks. But now that they've done this, now the banks are starting to line up. So we know of one bank in Zurich that has officially, and this came out on their announcement today, they've officially started talking with this other bank, basically to get them set up and get on board and do the same thing by 9.9%. So their owner in that bank, get the account set up. And this is where I really want to be on one of these banks. Whether I have to fly over there or not in the future, I don't know, to do this. But, well, that'll be another whole game altogether. But the thing is, are they going to have wallets? What's that? Yeah, go
Electronium.
Yeah, go Electronium. So what does that mean for their bank account? I mean, are you going to have a wallet account with that bank and that's how they do it? I don't know. I mean, the contract was just penned today. Funds were transferred today. Basically, they closed today. Right, is what happened. They finalized. They funded. They signed today. So basically, they have their ownership of the bank, and now what are they going to do with it? They've got all these ideas what they wanted to do, but they had a nice little checklist on their white paper of what they wanted to do, and they're halfway through it. Within a few months, they're halfway through it. They've officially got the bank done, and they're on the run big time. So I'm a big supporter now of TokenPay. I just need to be able to get somebody to buy into it since it's $8 a coin right now, and they're up 15% today.
What did it start out at? Was it $1? I can't remember. Was it $2, $1, $2?
Let's pull it up here.
I really can't remember.
I think it was $2.
A bonus and stuff with it, but it's too bad, But
yeah, when they hit the market, let's put it this way: when it actually hit coin market cap, I think you were buying these at $1 for ICO. I think so.
It was when it hit the market, it was a little over $1, wasn't it?
It was $1.30.
They're $1.30.
That was April 5th when it hit the market. So we're talking a month ago. Yeah. In 1 month, you made 800%. That's a pretty good investment.
That's pretty good investment.
And if you're holding it, as long as you're holding it, on your computer, you're staking it. As long as you're doing proof of stake with it, you've made more than just that 800% of just holding it. I mean, you've made more than that because they're giving you more coin just to hold it, not to spend it.
Do you have it pulled up on CoinMarketCap right now?
I do.
What's the circulating supply? It's only like 19 million, isn't it?
Today it's 15 million.
15 million.
Total supply is 19 million.
Total supply. That is less than Bitcoin. I mean, that's a small amount of supply. So,
but it says their max supply is 25 million. So I don't know why they have a total supply and a max supply. Maybe the total supply is what's out. The max supply is what they'll have. Actually, no, I know what it is. It's because the max supply of coins is what's held by the board as well as held by the company. So the total supply, which is available to the public,
circulating supply. Yeah.
Well, no. Circulating supply is the 15 million. The total supply to the public is 19 million. the max supply, which I think is the total amount of coins held by everyone, is 25 million.
Right.
I'll have to look at that.
So there's
I'm pretty sure that's so.
So there's only 15 million circulating right now. It's only got $100 million market cap. It's got so much room to grow. I mean, this will be $1 billion before you know it.
Yeah.
You're still looking at opportunity to 10 times your money on this, in my opinion. I mean, this very easily could be a, $70 to $100 coin.
Yep.
Before you know it, the way it's growing.
But there are huge. Oh, actually, it was 13% up earlier, 15% up earlier. It's only 10% now, so it's dropped. It was over $8 earlier. It's at $7.61 right now. So, anyway, they are a huge advocate of mass adoption, just like Electroneum and Richard Ells. That's why I really think those two would be a match made in heaven if they could get some deal penned between them. But on the other hand, you've got
with Electroneum coming out with their payment processing thing, it might be a very good match with them,
exactly
to set that up through them.
Because now you got the banking side and the merchant services side. I mean, yeah, there are definitely some handshaking that needs to be happening between these guys. But basically, I mean, what I kind of wanted to go back for is why they're going big is because, I mean, you've got deals like Verge. Verge was having such a hard time trying to get in and being because they want mass adoption as well. They want people to use it. Why? It makes the value of the coin a lot higher. So, of course, everybody wants their coin being used, somewhere, somehow. And Verge was pushing to try and get on with other companies. And they were having a really hard time to do that until they made a deal with TokenPay. TokenPay saying, "Oh, we'll have a bank. We'll be able to do this in the future." And suddenly, boom, Verge gets their deal.
Yeah.
So
and Verge is a very good coin with very good developers, but
just
they had nobody marketing it or doing anything with it. And so that's why it just sat stagnant for so long.
Right. It did. But I mean, you go back and look, I still can't believe these historic snapshots. That just really blew my mind today, going back and looking at what the pricing on stuff was, because you and I know we've seen, I mean, we sit there and say, oh, SC didn't move for a long time. Sidecoin didn't move for a long time. ADA didn't move for a long time. Well, we can go back and look. Yeah, it did. But what we kept looking at it was last fall, of course.
Right.
And when we bought in and stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, if we would have gone back and looked at this just a little bit earlier last year, from when we really got into it, man, there was a huge difference. Just a huge difference of the money, that's coming in and everything. So I thought that was quite interesting. So
and anyway, there's more coins out there just like that are going to, in a year or two from now, are going to be like, oh man, I wish I would have got into that when it was, 0.0005.
Oh yeah. Well, think about. I mean, everything was down 100%, or however you want to look at it, 1,000%, basically.
Yeah.
Monero, $29.
Last year, this time
on the 7th. So this is a year and 2 days. On the 7th of May, Monero was $29. Okay.
Wow.
Was it today? And it was number 8. Monero's number 12 today, and they're $226. I mean,
$200. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, didn't matter what you were buying last year. If you just held it for a year, you made money.
If you would have put $5,000 into, $1,000 each into the top 5 coins last year, you'd have made some serious money.
Yeah. See, even Ripple last year.
And it wasn't on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You made good money on Bitcoin, but you'd made more on others.
Yeah. See, here you go. Ripple, 10 cents. Litecoin, $29. Dash was $99. So let's go look at those today. Ripple, 80 cents. You're 800 times up. Or 800 times up. Dash, where's Dash? Dash is $441. So it's gone up 400%.
Huh.
So not bad.
Ethereum
was $96. That we said that one earlier. They're up to 759. Right. But here's the thing: they went from what did we say, $96? What was their peak? $1,200,
$1,300, something like that. Maybe a little higher. Yeah. And this year it's gonna, it's still gonna. I mean, it's still gonna go up.
Oh yeah, it's still going to go up.
Ethereum has a platform, and other coins are using the ERC20 coins, to create their blockchains, and so Ethereum's going to keep growing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's some that move more than others. I mean, Stellar Lumens is 37 cents now. They were 2 cents last year at that time. That's
okay,
good.
so I got a comment here from Patrick. I wasn't paying attention to my screen or whatever, but he said, "What do you think about Ethereum? It will switch to proof of stake, and the price might spike up."
Here's the thing: proof of stake are very kind of iffy. We've had some run-ins with proof of stake in the past. So Ethereum, I'm not too big on proof of stake because I think you give away too much on it. But with Ethereum, what are we looking at? What's our max on that? Our circulating supply is 99 million right now. Do they have a max supply? I don't think they have a max supply, do they? I don't even hold Ethereum anymore.
I've got a little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
Kind of got out of, buying the altcoins and stuff. So
here's the thing with proof of stake, it's really good to bring awareness because it gets people going, I want free coin, and then they jump on board. Ethereum's been around for a long time, so I don't know if it would really help Ethereum to do proof of stake, to tell you the truth. Just in my mind,
I can't see that it's necessary, right?
It's not necessary, yeah, because people that are mining it now, I mean, are doing that, so are making the money, but it's because they're doing the calculation for the blockchain, for the transactions. That's how they're making it, but
right.
It's just, to me, seems a little, I don't know, maybe they're trying to bring more brand awareness to Ethereum, but I mean, with all the ERC20 tokens out there, I think that does it enough.
Yeah, I think
because to buy an ERC20 token anyway, you're buying Ethereum to buy that. Yeah. So I think the transactions there, they're already getting the transaction fee off of it. So I think that's there. The proof of stake may be just trying to bring brand awareness, but I don't know if it's really going to help Ethereum. I really don't.
Yeah, good comment, Patrick. I'm not sure if it's going to help them or not either. I don't see the point of it. It's not like they're one of the smaller ones like we. They want people to hang on to their coins instead of to gain the value or whatever. Ethereum's going to keep raising the value no matter what, in my opinion. So. Well,
Ethereum falls in the same category as Bitcoin. I mean, that's where you buy. I mean, if you're converting fiat into crypto, you've got to go with Ethereum or Bitcoin. I mean, those are the two main ones. Now, I mean, if you go to Coinbase? Basically, it's going to be Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum or Bitcoin. And more people are buying Bitcoin, of course. That's why they have majority market share. But I think Ethereum's the second when it comes into what they're buying on there, because the transaction fees are so much smaller. And even then, that's where Litecoin has really started to pick up because of the low transaction fees.
Right.
And now that they've started to gain value, Litecoin is starting to become one of those where more people are buying it. But it was Bitcoin, then Ethereum came along, so everybody started buying Ethereum because it was so cheap. And they really picked up now with the ERC20 coins everywhere. That's really where Ethereum flourishes.
Right. They already have a platform for you. So yes, good question, Patrick. Time shall tell on that one, whether it's beneficial to them or not. So,
but I do believe Ethereum is going to go up no matter what.
Yeah, I do too.
Just like Bitcoin, it's going to go up no matter what.
One of the things I was thinking of when we were talking about TPAY and the mortgages and having your money, what did I call it? I forgot now. All of a sudden, seasoned money and stuff in there is, we remember back to Sean Davis, Crypto for the People. He had a whole bunch of Bitcoin and he went out to buy a house, and so he sold like 35 Bitcoin or whatever to get his down payment. That's when Bitcoin was around $1,000 a piece. And he sold 35 of them to get his down payment and went in to buy the house. And whoa, where's this money from? No, we can't use it. It's like, I can show you all the records and everything. And they wouldn't even use it because they couldn't really track it. They didn't know what it was exactly. And he ended up not buying the house because of that. So with the cryptocurrency being part of the bank, now the bank's going to know you've got seasoned money there, seasoned crypto, as good as cash. So that's that's a cool thing. You can have that in there without selling it. You can just have it in there seasoned and keep going. So kind of cool. And probably borrow against it from as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, of course, how that's going to happen here in the US, I don't know. I mean, right now, that's not even a legitimate thing. That's not something that the SEC would even allow. I don't know at this point in time. I don't know. I mean, we don't have a bank here that's doing. That's why they're overseas doing this. That's why they're doing it in Germany, and looking at a few other countries to start, to buy into banks as well too. But and you're right. Sean mentioned in one of his videos today actually that there was someone who played the little game lately of with Verge going up and down and all that stuff. They cashed out. So I don't know if it was someone he knew or it was someone he read about, but basically said that they had cashed out about $240,000 worth of crypto. I mean, they banked out on it. So they wanted to take it out, and all they did is they moved it out and they sold it and they deposited it back to their bank account. So they wired it back. And immediately the bank not seized it, but they froze his assets. They froze his accounts. Yep. They froze his accounts. So here's the thing. They knew that it was a crypto sale. And this is where the SEC says all transactions have to be tracked now, at least in the US. That's where this comes into play. How they figured that out, I don't know. But this is where, if you're on an exchange and they're saying we have to verify who you are, please upload a copy of your ID, right? We need a copy of your driver's license or your passport or whatever it is that they're asking for. And you're like, okay, cool. And then, we're gonna give you a higher limit if you get a tier 2 verification, which means you got to upload copies of bank statements, things like that to show where you live, proof of where you live and all this stuff. Well, that's how they know. That's how these and then when the SEC says, okay, or the bank says, we got a huge wire from BitBTC, right? Who's BitBTC? Right. Oh, it's a crypto exchange. Oh, this is Bitcoin. We need that information. And they have to send it to them according to SEC regulatory standards now. So that's what happens. So this is why I'm really excited about these banks over in Germany. I don't have to sit here and deal with the BS of the SEC anymore.
Right.
That's really what I'm looking at this at. So I don't want to have to deal with anything. So if I got to take a trip over there, then I'll do it. I've always said that though. I mean, if there was any point when I was going to get out of it, which I don't plan on ever getting out of crypto, to tell you the truth, well, there's always going to be a new one.
But what's the beautiful thing about TPAY, token pay, having your crypto in the bank or any crypto bank, whatever it is, that you've got a credit card attached to it, so you can use your Visa or MasterCard or whoever they end up using it with for their merchant services, that you can just spend your crypto just like you would on everyday items. If I want to go to the store and spend $1,000 on groceries or whatever, I'll just use my card. It'll deduct from my cryptocurrency just like it would from my cash in my account. So
and there's been a lot of wallet companies out there been trying to do this. Right. And then which are backed with companies like Visa, and then Visa pulls out because they don't like what's going on, or something like that. So, so then they move to MasterCard, and then MasterCard does the same thing too. So there's quite a few wallets in the past year that have done that, have been doing that. And then I think it worked. It worked for a while. I think what's happened is it's just the merchant services side of things, and the SEC has stopped to do it. The only one I know of that's really still doing it right now is the Cash App from Square. So, you can buy Bitcoin directly from the app on your phone, which links right into your bank account. You just put your debit card in there and it links right into it, and they'll transfer money back and forth, but they have a black card.
I didn't know that.
Yep, they have a black card. In fact, I got mine. I've used it a few times, but it is backed by Visa. So there's no number on it. That's mine. It just says Visa on it. But actually, they made it nice and security. It's got the chip on it and everything. It actually does have a number associated with it, but it's not shown on the front of the card like a normal credit card is. Yeah, it's because it's made it security. It's privacy.
And is that pulling from your? If you bought Bitcoin on there, does that pull from that account the value?
Yeah, it does. So here's the nice thing about it: the Cash App. Excuse me, the Cash App. You link your debited card into it or bank account, however you want to set it up, so that you can actually transfer money. And this is the thing: they do this for free. They'll transfer money back and forth to a friend. So you and I, if we had Cash Apps on our wallet, and you said, "Okay, I bought movie tickets for Friday night. Let's go. It's going to cost you $10." Because we want to go see the new Avengers or something like that, okay? Or $12. No, it's probably for that one. But anyway, all I got to do is pull up my Cash App and go, okay, send $12 because you bought the tickets. And it goes through immediately. I mean, it's that quick. But here's the thing. It also has a Bitcoin wallet in there and an exchange. So the $12 I just sent you, you could turn around and convert that right into Bitcoin immediately if you wanted to do that. Or you could have just said, no, send it to me in Bitcoin. I want $12 in Bitcoin. So I go into the little app and I say send $12 Bitcoin, and it sends it to you that way as well. Yeah. Either way, you've got two wallets in there, one for funds, US funds, and one for Bitcoin. But which one you got in there, it doesn't matter. If that little card will use whichever fund is in there.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
So it works. Yeah, it just takes a little bit to get. Takes you about a month to get it, but anyway. You can personalize it however you want to. It's pretty cool.
Everyday spending is not going to be a big problem with that way. Bigger purchases though, and taking your money out, you're going to have to deal with the SEC. You're going to have to deal with regulations on that. You're not going to be able to pull out $500,000 into your account.
Right. And the Cash App is for small purchases. It's limited. So the most you can do on a transaction at a time is $10,000
per transaction.
Yeah. So if you wanted to go in there and say buy Bitcoin from your, say you have 20 grand worth of cash in there. Okay. USD fiat in there. Okay. And you wanted to buy Bitcoin with it. The most you could buy it any single time is 10 grand.
So let's say I've got 10 Bitcoin in there. I've got $100,000 worth of Bitcoin in there right now. What about
to convert it back would be $10,000. Yeah, the max you could convert it back $10,000. Now, whether or not you can send that to anybody, yeah, you can send. If you've got 10 Bitcoin in there, you can send 10 Bitcoin.
Okay, you
can send that back and forth. There's no sending limitation. It's just transaction fees with the exchange or with purchases, things like that.
Right.
Okay.
I can totally see like a excuse me. So we've got Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. Can you see a fifth option coming out of this? I mean, can you see something coming out of its own crypto type card that's
just a crypto card.
Crypto cards. I mean,
why
not? Card. Because now you're going to be able to deal with, because Visa and MasterCard, they've got all these regulations and stuff like that, but there's going to be something that's got to come out to handle all the crypto payments and things, and man, it's going to be money.
Right, and I think that's where we'll see something from Token Pay. I think we're going to see something now that they're in the banking industry. They'll figure that out, but at the same time, Electroneum's already done it. I mean, they've already done the fencing patent to where it takes your coin and fences it off, so you can't touch it anymore, based off your purchase, right? But at the same time,
it places a hold on that amount, whatever you.
Right, it does. Well, it's called fencing. Right, it's called fencing. So they fence off. Basically, it's like sheep. That's what they're looking at. You've got 100 sheep, and you just spent 3 of them. It takes 3 of them and fences them off, and nobody can touch those sheep. They're done. They're sold. Till whoever wants them comes and gets them. Right.
I don't know why you had to use sheep as an analogy.
Well, I just think a fence, whatever.
Because fish don't stay in a fence very well. I get that. Okay.
But okay, knitting, whatever you want to call it. But
like sheep,
when you come from livestock, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm more of a Hereford.
Hereford guy. All right.
Anyways,
but I just think that's pretty interesting. And then also, Electronium already has the deal with their merchant services that does the processing for cell phone companies. They've already got a deal penned with them to take care of all that stuff. All the transaction side of the cell phone companies, and all that. Plus, something about with that merchant services that does that. They're supposedly doing a credit card as well. So, and maybe that all ties into the patent. I don't know. They haven't come out with any announcements other than saying this is what we have planned to do, which part of that was coming out with Electronium debit card. So,
right.
Very
cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So, but as far as Electronium goes, they've had quite a few little things, interesting things come out lately. I mean, they did a Q&A. If anybody didn't get that, go pretty much to Electronium Millionaires Club, ETN Electronium Millionaires Club. You can go there, and Brian just posted it up this morning, I think. Basically, all the Q&A sessions about the iOS app, just everything that's going on. And then if you've got some time, I would say go check out the Electronium website. Go look at the team updates that they did. They've added, I mean, they're really running this as a business. They've added so many people to their team lately. It's just crazy. And they're all top of the field business people. So, I mean, they're there for B2B. I mean, they're there for FaceTime B2B that they've hired in. They even hired in some people to do just customer service, just client relations. So, I mean, they're really looking at this as a legitimate company, and they're setting themselves up to it. So, but yeah, if you get some time, go in there. But all these people that they brought in their list of awards and achievements is pretty big, and their LinkedIn accounts are all on there. So go take some time to look if you got it.
Looks like I was just looking. Looks like they've got about 1.3 million, just over 1.3 million users right now as well. So pretty cool. Mm-hmm. They're growing.
I have iOS, so I can't tell how many people are out mining right now. But we last week we passed the 100,000 active miners too. Yeah. So I mean that's another big step. More people getting on to mining. So. Which is good. We saw the dip in the price.
We all want the iOS app to come out, but in reality, the
global markets, Google,
the Android is way bigger than iOS.
Yeah. So to tell you the truth, I understand that part of it, but I'll tell you, I think there's in the crypto world, I think there's a high percentage of iOS users.
I'm sure there is
in the crypto world, because it's like if you go into the tech world, I don't know. If you look, there's the Apple bunch, right? I don't have Apple computers, but I do have an Apple phone. But when you go and look in the tech development world, boy, there sure is a lot of people that use Apple.
I agree, but when you're looking at other countries and stuff, and third world countries, can they afford an iPhone?
No,
probably not. So that's why,
that's where the mass adoption is. Androids. I think current users. I'm saying existing current adopters of crypto.
Yeah, because most of them are in the U.S. or yeah.
I'll bet you there's a higher percentage of actually iOS users there than there is on that same calculation for world users. I think there's a big difference there. So I think it will actually pick up once the iOS comes out. I could see it doubling, the amount of miners doubling, active miners doubling.
Yeah.
Off of that. Yeah, easily from 100 to 200,000 just off of letting the iOS app out. And it's because everybody I know that's into crypto has an iPhone.
Right. Oh yeah, I agree. And plus it's, it'll be nice when it finally does. I mean, I think it will. And they did talk about it a little bit in this Q&A, not very much. But they did bring it up, and so it's something on the radar. But they're working on other things that are a little more important than that right now. Of course, all of us would like to be mining and getting some free coins, but it's where they've dropped that down to the level that it's at because of the ASICs and different things like that. They're not mining a lot of coins right now, anyways. So,
and and speaking of the ASICs, I mean, we know that they've got the code done. It's completed. They'll just be releasing it on the block. I don't remember what the block number is, but they expect it to be May 30th.
right.
That's when we'll hit that block for the fork.
So that should
Electronium fork.
That should be a good thing. Should be a good thing.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
is.
So.
And we saw a little bit of a hint of what's going to happen when KuCoin close their deposits and into their platform last week, and we saw the coin jump, and it was we saw it jump 25% overnight, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
We went up to what, 3.5 cents?
Almost. We got up there close to the 4 range, right? 3.7 or something.
Yeah. And that was because suddenly the ASICs miners couldn't get on and dump their coins like they had been. So they slowly started going back to Cryptopia, which we knew was going to happen. And that's why the value of the coin has dropped a little bit. I think we're at 2.8 cents right now.
Yeah, we bumped up a little bit. We were at 100 earlier today, but now we're at 98 too.
Yeah, so we're at 2.8 cents right now. We knew there was going to be a little bit of drop happen as soon as KuCoin opened up their exchange again for electronic their wallets, but we kind of, I mean, that's fine. People just moved back to the older platform, which was Cryptopia, and started selling there. It just took a little bit more time for them to do it, but we saw what's going to happen as soon as the fork comes in, and we're ASICs resistant. So there's no more guys mining ASIC on ASIC systems anymore. So it's going to slow down the mining quite a bit. Blocks are going to get bigger, so you're not going to get as much mining stake or mining coins out, basically. And the exchange it's gonna slow down the transactions a little bit too. Or not slow them down. It's gonna help with speeding up the transactions, but there's not going to be so many of them at a given time. It's not going to bog down the system. Basically, it's not going to bog down the blockchain to where it can't handle all the minute mini transactions that are going on all the time. So there's a lot of good things going to be coming out, but that's still we're talking, what is that, 3 weeks away? We're still 3 weeks out.
Yeah,
it'll be 3 weeks from today.
Yep. So it looks like Cryptopia kind of held the advantage today at $334,000 in volume, but KuCoin was at 311, so they're fairly even.
So maybe they're opening back up. I mean, if you went back and looked, what was it, last week?
2 days ago.
It was quite a bit. It was quite a bit larger. The volume was quite a bit larger. I thought we were over 1 million. I swear we were over 1 million last week.
What's our volume? Our 24-hour volume today was, we were over 1 million. Today's $906,000. So
so April,
there's not a lot of news going on, and people are just kind of hanging on because they know good things are coming, and you just got to hold on and wait.
Well, get this. This is after last week after KuCoin closed their wallets, right? We jumped to 1.3 million in volume, right? And this was on May 1st May 1st. We're 1.3. When we did our show last Wednesday, it was at 1.574 million. And then the next day, this is when people started selling off of Cryptopia. The volume jumped to almost 7 million, 6.98 million volume.
What day was that?
That was Thursday, the day after our show.
Wow.
And that's when the coin started. That's when we saw it start to just slip a little bit. It started just to tilt a little bit. It's because all those miners started selling back on Cryptopia, and the volume jumped immensely. I mean, that's crazy. Went from 1.5 million shares or coin in volume to 6.98. I mean, dang near almost 7 million in coin. And then the next day it was down to 3, next day down to 2, next day down to 2, next day down to 1.3, and then today we're at a little under 1 million total volume. So it's like suddenly all those miners suddenly had this big backlash, this big save up that they just had to dump back in the market, right? Everything, but that's the thing. The volume's so low today. That's why we're seeing an uptick in the price of the coin. So whether or not ASICs miners are going away, I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, I would think that if you've got an ASIC miner and you know it's going away in a couple weeks,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you keep mining it and you're just holding the coins.
that's true too.
Because
I could
once the price goes up,
easy.
then you're going to dump some.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's the ASICs miner. Someone in the ASICs miner community. This is where we're at least from L saying we're having this attack with these microtransactions. So the fact I think them upping the transaction price from 0.01,
So
1/10 of a
1/10 of,
or
yeah,
what was it? One actually that's not 1/10, that's
Point-
1/100th.
0.1 of a ETN, right?
Yeah, they went from 1/100th to 1/10 of an ETN.
Right.
So from 0.01 to 0.1 electronium per transaction. So that actually stopped a lot of these little microtransactions that were happening and bogging down the system. And this is where the exchanges were having a lot of issues because they couldn't handle all these microtransactions happening all the time. That's why KuCoin went down. That's why they closed their wallets.
And that's why every time there's a transaction, there was one of these microtransactions right after it, which kept keeping the price down. And it was
selling it for low, but selling basically like one. They're selling one electronium at a time.
Yeah, one electronium.
Crazy.
So,
yeah. So which was holding the price down. So I think now we saw that adjustment go in. We're starting to see some of the volume drop. Of course, we see a dump. That's what happened. We saw a dump, and now we're coming back from that dump. But by the end of this month, all that should be taken away, and we should start to see the true value of the coin start coming out.
Yeah.
Because this sell wall won't be there anymore.
I think June should be a good month for Electronium. What do you think?
I hope, man.
Can I get a price prediction?
I really need a good month. I need us back up to that 20-cent range, man. That's really where I want to see us back to is back up to that 20-cent range again. It'd be really nice.
Kind of miss what your blockfolio looked like at that point, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Kind of wish you would have sold, don't you?
A note to everybody out there listening: when it comes to
sold on January 5th this year, right? Because January 6th and 7th,
not sold. It's put it into Tether, guys. Put it into Tether. Sell into Tether and just hold it till we hit the bottom again, because it's going to happen, guys. It's a cycle. It's going to happen again in January next year. We're going to have all this year-end money coming into this. It's going to throw everything crazy through the roof. Just get ready, man. Just be looking for that ceiling, because once it hits that ceiling, you want out. Throw it back. There's no Electronium Tether pairing out there, at least not right now. There could be by the end of this year. Who knows? But right now there's not. So you've got to be able to figure out, how am I going to sell this? I'd tell you, find out what's the lowest transaction fee possible, which right now I think is Litecoin. The big ones actually would be. What's that?
Does Litecoin have a pairing with Tether?
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. They're going to have a pairing with Tether.
Okay.
So
Bitcoin
right now has the highest transaction. Yeah, Bitcoin's going to have the highest transaction fee, so you're going to want to stay away from that. You go down to, Ethereum or Litecoin at the time. Just have to look and see which one's which and what's their cost, because they do change their transaction prices. They do adjust.
Ethereum has all the gas charges and stuff, whether you want to spend it faster or different things like that too. So
find a good exchange that has Electronium, Litecoin, and Tether. This is what you got to do. You got to find an exchange that's got all three, so you're not getting hit with transaction fees from exchanges. Yeah, but find something that's got all three by the end of this year. So keep your eyes open, and then come Christmas, New Year's, man, get ready, start selling, start getting money out. It doesn't matter what you're holding, get it into Tether, so that when the drop happens again in January, you're not sitting there going, "Why is my portfolio just dying? Why does my blockfolio look like crap?" So
and also start buying now. Start buying now. Yeah. And if you can't buy now, you better buy before Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is the magic. That's where the magic happens.
If you watched us last week, we figured it out. So last year, it was Thanksgiving. Well, actually, it was a little bit after Halloween, but from Halloween to Thanksgiving is where the run came. And it's basically that month of November. So if you were buying anytime last year, if you bought anytime last year, it doesn't matter. The lowest point that we were at this year is still much higher than than any time you bought last year before Thanksgiving.
You're still okay. That's right.
You're still okay.
Yeah.
If you bought after Thanksgiving, basically, if you bought in the month of December last year, I'm sorry, you're down. Don't sell because you're going to lose if you sell. So don't. Keep it there. Keep it till the summer. We'll be back. Okay. That's where Brian's saying we should have a good June. It really depends on how much money's coming back in the market. And we're seeing tons of money coming back in the market right now. We're up double. The market cap's up double in the last 2 months. We were at 251 billion 2 months ago. We were at 251 billion. Now we're up at 435 billion. Okay. And we actually got as low as, I think we were saying 200 billion is where our low hit, I think, this year. So
which is still 20 times higher than it was last year.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still much higher than we were last year at this time. So just take that into consideration. Next year at this time, where are you going to be? 300% up from where you're now? You know, that's pretty good. I mean, Berkshire Hathaway's not going to give you that.
Yeah.
So
and that's a good thought, you know, because we know it's going to be a down market. So prepare for that. You know, save some money and stuff, because right now, or a week or so ago, would have been a great time to start buying in when things were actually probably a couple weeks ago. But you know it's going to come down, so it's a fire sale, you know. So sell it, put it into Tether, hold on to it, at the bottom, and then get back in again.
Bitcoin was their lows this year was 6,300. So that's where they bottomed out at, was 6,300, and that was
about a month ago.
That was the week. That was 2 months ago when we were saying we were at 250 billion market cap. They were at $6,300. So that was the time you should have been buying like crazy, because we're almost at 10,000 right now. You know, I mean, that's where we should have all been buying Bitcoin, getting back in and just if we were going to hold it or get it into one of these other ones. I mean, the altcoins are fluctuating like you wouldn't believe right now. I mean, day traders dream.
Oh yeah.
Day traders dream. And if you've got a good bot out there trading for you, it's a dream, because you don't have to sit there and watch it and that thing's trading 24/7 for you. You just got to have a really good pairing, a really good fluctuating pairing, so that it goes back and forth through. But the reason, just to get back to the Tether thing real quick, the reason why we say Tether, for those of you that don't understand what Tether is a coin that's tied to the US dollar. So it never goes above $1.01, and it never goes below, what did we say, 98 cents?
98, 99 cents, yeah.
98, 99 cents. Okay. So when the market's going down, when things are going down, Tether's worth $1 and a penny, $1.01. When things are going up, it's worth 99 cents. So that's where it is, because people are selling out of Tether to buy into an up market, right? Into a bull market, and then they're buying back in, so the price goes up in a bear market when everything's going down. So that's where you really need to look at Tether and go, okay, what's the purpose of this coin? It's tied to the US dollar. It's a good place to let it sit while everything's fluctuating so much.
I'll bet you wish you bought Tether back in January, don't you?
Oh man, I wish I knew about Tether back in January. And that's the thing. I didn't know, guys.
Stop bringing it up. I know
about Tether. Okay, and here's the thing. I may be in mortgage banking. I may be doing finance and mortgage banking. I am not a stockbroker. I am not a professional trader by any means. I'm here learning as much as you guys are listening. I'm reading. I'm looking. I'm trying to find out about crypto as much as possible. What's new coming out in ICOs? What's basically what's the ins and outs? What do we really need to know to make this work for the layman? And that's what I'm trying to learn. That's what Brian's trying to learn. That's why we're always looking at, you know, different altcoins, cryptos, things like that. But basically, you know, Tether is one of those little hidden gems I wish I would have known about last year, because it's been around for a long time, and they've got pairings basically on every exchange out there. If you go pull up Tether on CoinMarketCap and look, the list of pairings on exchanges is crazy.
There's a lot of them,
hundreds. Yeah. So if you've got a good exchange that you like to use, go find Tether on it. Find out what the pairings are that you can cash out. If that's where you're holding your altcoins, things like that, if you don't have them in a wallet, figure out where you can get those things cashed out, at a moment's notice, or not cashed out, but basically transferred into Tether, so it's safe when the market drops again. And so and this is the thing, I've seen a lot of guys that I've read lately, a lot of things on these trading bots that just run 24/7 off your computer, trading for you, like on Binance and Bittrex, some of the bigger exchanges like that. And a lot of the pairings on there are going to be Tether and something else. So that's what they like. They like things that are fluctuating a lot. And I can tell you right now, the way Bitcoin's been fluctuating, because it's valued so much, it goes up a couple $100 a day, goes down a couple $100 a day. It's back and forth, back and forth. If you've got a bot sitting out there for you, just trading like crazy, and most of them, by the way, bots are not free. Most of them you have to do a monthly subscription to, like $20, $30, something like that. Some of them you buy for a year for $1,000. It just depends on them. But some are bigger and some are smaller, but they all have the pros and cons. Some of them won't trade a lot of Bitcoin or a lot of Ethereum. It depends on what you use. Some of them only work with certain coins. So it really just depends. But you find something that moves back and forth, even if it was just Bitcoin and Tether, you'd be making money, because Bitcoin goes up, you're buying Bitcoin. The little bot's buying Bitcoin. As soon as it turns, it goes down, and the bot knows. It sits there and watches. If it passes a certain threshold, it sells it back to Tether, and it goes down. And it sits there and waits for the price to hit the bottom. And it sits there and watches it bounces. It doesn't hit it at the exact bottom. It kind of waits for the trend to reverse itself, and then it buys back in and waits for it to go back up, or on the uphill swing. So it's all these little microtransactions back and forth. But if you've got a lot of money in and you're making a couple $100 on every trade, say you own one Bitcoin and you're doing this back and forth, one Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. Every time you're doing that, you're making a little bit every time. Say it's $100 every transaction. Well, that thing makes a couple of transactions a day for you. You could make a couple $100 a day.
Oh yeah. Well,
it really depends on how volatile the market is at that point in time. If it's been like it has been in the past, where it's just this side motion where nothing's moving at all. Yeah. Then Bitcoin's not going to be what you're going to want to get into. You're going to want to find a smaller altcoin that's really fluctuating, that's getting hit with all the BS that's going out in the FUD or whatever. That's what causes the altcoins to move. It's really what it is. It's all the talk. And then people buy, of course, based off what they're hearing on the talk. So, but anyway, that's kind of my little insight into the stuff I've been learning or trying to learn about lately, is these little trading bots that they do this for you back and forth. So you don't sit there in front of your computer all day like a day trader. They do it for you.
Well,
so
for instance, today on Bitcoin, Vance, there's been a 400-point swing. It was down to 89.61. It's up to 93.70. $400 on Bitcoin. That's not a very, that's not very much, because we've seen days where it's $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 swings, in each direction, and going bouncing back and forth, So
right, but here's the thing though: if you had a little bot that was sitting there just waiting for that swing today to do that, and you made $400 today, you just made $400.
Yeah.
Off money that is just sitting there investing for you. This isn't an MLM gig. It's not nothing like that. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just telling you, go research some bots. Go, and so that way they can do it for you without you having to worry about sitting there in front of a computer all day long.
Do you have any information on any of these bots that you might want to share with the
not our listeners? We'll do a different video on that once I get more stuff out. But I've been looking into 3 different bots right now,
and maybe put it on our ETN Millionaires and our Crypto Millionaires Club and stuff like that. When you get a link that people can look at a little bit or something. So if you find,
truly, I'd like to test them out
to help
first.
People but to help people just kind of start getting into what am I looking for type thing, So it's not financial advice. We're not telling you to go use that one. It's just showing you kind of what Vance is talking about. So You do your own research.
I'm trying to. That's why I'm saying I'm doing my due diligence. I haven't jumped in, and I mean, some of these were really expensive. They're $2,000. But
for the year. For the year,
but they'll trade up to 10 Bitcoin at a time. So that's really got to look as, if you've got 100 Bitcoin that you're trying to trade with this, well, sorry, Bitcoin, a trading bot's not really going to be your benefit to do that, that much, unless you just want to have a small little side thing going on. But if you have 100 Bitcoin, geez, Louise, lucky you, man.
If you got 100 Bitcoin, just buy some other coins and hold them, right? Just, what do you want to day trade them for?
Yeah. You're holding. That's why you've got 100 Bitcoin you've been holding. But if you've got, say, $5,000 in coins that you want to try and start doubling up or just starting to make some money off of and build yourself a good portfolio off of it, that might be something for you that you want to do. So, and it really depends. Really what it comes down to is, what are you trading? What's the transaction fee for what you're trading? And how much is the trade going to cost you? So if you're thinking you're going to go do it on $100, it's not going to happen. You're going to lose that. You're going to lose that money out to transaction fees pretty quick. You've got to have a little bit more. You got to have more skin in the game than that. That's why I'm saying, if you've got over $1,000, then you could be doing some of these smaller ones, even Litecoin at that. I mean, you could be trading Litecoin back and forth because they're going to have a lower transaction fee, and the cost of a Litecoin isn't that much. So if you have $1,000 in Litecoin, well, you own 7 Litecoin because they're $150 right now. Okay. So basically you could go buy yourself 7 Litecoin and start doing that. And, your transaction fees are going to be lower. You just, when you get in, there is some setup to them. That's what I'm trying to learn more of, is the setup on these. And it's because you have to put in your threshold limits. That's where it says, if it's going up and it starts to turn, how long are you going to let it turn before you sell? And the same thing when it hits the bottom. When it turns at the bottom, how long are you going to let it turn at the bottom before you buy in, thinking it's going to be a run up? Because you don't want it to just hit the bottom, turn, and suddenly you buy it, it turns back and goes back down again. You want to be on that upward slant. So there is some setup to this, and there is some learning on how day traders do it, because it is based off the same information. Right. So it's trends. It's looking for the little bot sitting there looking for the trends, and it looks at the markers. That's all it does. Yep. So once I find out more of it, I'll bring it back up again. But anyway, that's kind of what my future I'm looking at doing too.
And you're right about Bitcoin. I mean, you really got to have at least one Bitcoin in it to really be worth your while, in my opinion. Because let's say you only have, let's say you've got a $200 swing, Bitcoin goes up $200 and you sell. But if you only own $1,000, so a tenth of a Bitcoin, you only made $20, but your transaction fee is going to eat it up.
Right. And whatever the transaction fee is at the time, I think they're like $15. They were $25. Bitcoin's at the peak, they were like $26. I think they've adjusted it down a little bit, but still, I think it's $14. So yeah, if you made $20 and your transaction fee was $14, wasn't probably a good deal to get into. Yeah. So yeah, you got to make sure you got some skin in the game when you're going through higher price coins. Or higher cost coins. Otherwise, it's just not going to help you that much. So,
yep.
So anyway, that's my 2 cents tonight. Cool. But we've gone over our hour.
Yes, great. Thank you for great information, that Vance. So
yeah,
we'll keep plugging away and
continue to learn. That's why we're here. We're here to help you. We're here to try and give you the knowledge that we're learning, everything that we're seeing during the day. And sometimes, the week gets away from us with work, whatever, as Brian's talking about today, sometimes we're just not into it as much, but we try and keep up on trends as much as possible. And, definitely we're still trying to learn, because we're trying to become our first million as well into this. That's why we made this.
Well, and we may not know the answer to all the questions as well. So bring the questions, because that's good things, things that we can talk about, and then things that we can research as well and try to figure out those answers, because everything will benefit all of us, So
yeah,
there's no dumb questions. There's lots of new beginners starting this. So just bring your questions. So,
and if you've got interested in bots, let me know. I mean, if you've got some experience with them, if you've used a little bit in the past, let us know. I mean, that's just one of the topics. If you've got another topic that you're really into and you know it works, let us know. We'll see. As long as it's not one of these scam of I'll teach 50 people how to do this. I'm tired of hearing that. I'll teach next 50 people on how to make $50,000 in your next week. If I see another post like that, man, I'm done.
All right. So all of you out there, your assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to do some research on bots this week. And come back next week with some questions and some comments, and let's see what you found out. Sound good?
So,
okay. Well, thanks for being with us tonight. Thank you, Vance. Always a pleasure. And we will see you next week.
Yep.
Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care, everybody.
Have a good night.